Welcome back to City Desk. I'm Ed Hand. A meeting was held this morning in Bell's Corners to gauge the support for the creation of a business improvement area for that neighborhood. It will give the businesses in Bell's Corners a unified voice when it comes to dealing with City Hall, as well as creating new ways to attract new business and new customers to that area. To find out more, City Desk spoke to the man who brought everyone together, College Ward Councillor Rick Shirelli. Rick, you brought Bell's Corners businesses together to discuss the idea of creating a BIA. First off, was this your idea?
Yeah, I campaigned on it during the election, and after the election we got together with the Chamber of Commerce and the PN, got them on board. They were thinking about trying to do something for Bell's Corners anyway. Yeah, Bell's Corners, it's where I live, first of all, so I've looked at the place for the last 10 or 12 years wanting to do something there, so I'm really excited about the chance to do it now.
How many businesses are we talking about in that area?
A few hundred. You know, Bell's Corners used to be a destination, a place to go to, and in the last few years it's become a place to drive through on your way to Canada, or from Canada on your way to Westboro or Ottawa. And I guess what we need to do is develop that sense of place again in order to make businesses more competitive there. I went down the main strip in Bell's Corners a couple weeks ago and took pictures. There are dozens of boarded up and empty storefronts, places for lease, and we just have to do something about that.
Why is Bell's Corners no longer like a destination, as you'd call it?
Well, it used to have a focus. It used to be whether we liked it or not, it was the fast food capital of Ottawa. Mm-hmm. It sort of lost some of that, but nothing's replaced it. And in the meantime, you've had Canada spiraling from a retail point of view, and Westboro developed its own BIA and has developed its own identity. So people on the way to Canada, it's a cut through to get to Canada, and it's a cut through to get to Ottawa. But nobody has, if someone mentions Bell's Corners to you, nobody has a specific reason in mind that they would go there.
Identity is a good word to use for that.
Yes.
How do you create an identity for an area?
Well, you create an identity by looking at what your customer base is, and your potential customer base, and looking at what you can do, and you start to focus on those things where you have a competitive advantage over everyone else, and that becomes the thing you want to market to the public. In Maryville, on the Maryville Road strip, which is similar, caused by the same planners, about 12 years ago we did a secondary plan, and we decided to make electronics the focus of Maryville Road. And over the past couple of years, you know, if you need an iPod, you need a video camera, a camera, whatever, you go to Maryville Road. Everyone knows that. And all the other businesses, restaurants, grocery stores, they've all been lifted by the same tide. So it's important that all the businesses in Bell's Corners realize that if we develop an identity and a destination, that everybody will benefit from it.
Well, in terms of Bell's Corners, you mentioned the fast food, and it always seems every time you turn around, another bar was opening and then it was closing as well. Yeah. Are you looking at possibly maybe putting a restriction on the number of bars that can be on that strip?
Well, I'm not going to prejudge it. The BIA will work with us to develop what they want to promote and what they want to discourage. And we'll work with the community as well, because Bell's Corners is one of two unique areas in the city where you actually have a self-sustaining community. You have enough residences and businesses and services located in one area that it's all within walking distance. So we want to get everyone together working on what those restrictions should be and what we should be promoting.
That area, though, isn't really all that conducive to pedestrian traffic.
Yeah, there are sidewalks on both sides of the road, and I guess you could imagine one day somebody walking on them. But we need to develop streetscape, street beautification that makes people want, or at least feel at home if they're going to walk along the road.
In terms of the creation of the BIA, what's the next step for the businesses there?
Well, the next step is I'll be going door to door, as will Mr. Leishman from the Chamber of Commerce, door to door to all the businesses, try to get as many positively signed on as possible. And then we'll have one more big meeting with businesses and then we'll send out a letter. And if fewer than a third of the letter recipients object, then we will move ahead with the BIA.
Is there any cost involved for the businesses?
Yeah, BIAs will pay a levy based on their assessment, but all of the money collected by the city through that levy is given back to the BIA to spend on their promotional, beautification, and other works.
And how would you gauge the response from business this morning at your meeting?
Very enthusiastic. We were, normally you have a bit of a difficulty with some of the big players like your Loblaws, your Staples, those kinds, who have sort of a national focus. They were all among the strongest in support.
All right, Rick Shirelli, thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot.
Rick Shirelli is the councillor